Yes, I am very proud of you. Good job. All right, so the last one of the night is Tower of Terror, my all-time favorite attraction. And this attraction, kind of like how Jared was talking about how he wanted to be an Imagineer, this is what made me want to be an Imagineer. So the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror is an accelerated drop tower dark ride located at Disney's Hollywood Studios, Tokyo Disney Sea, Walt Disney Studios Park, and formerly located at Disney's California Adventure. The attraction is inspired by Rod Serling's anthology television series, The Twilight Zone, and takes place in the fictional Hollywood Tower Hotel in Hollywood, California. The Tokyo version features an original storyline not related to the Tower of Terror, but takes place in the fictional Hotel Hightower. The original version of the attraction opened at Disney's Hollywood Studios July 22nd in 1994, and the Tower of Terror buildings are among the tallest structures found at the retrospective Disney resorts at 199 feet tall, 1 foot above Expedition Everest.
Yeah.
So, still needing a major e-ticket attraction, the idea of a drop shaft ride came up and was chosen. There have been several proposed ideas for Haunted Mansion attractions, including a ride based on Stephen King's novels, a Vincent Price ghost tour, which would have been due to the Phantom Manor attraction in Paris, a Mel Brooks narrated ride, a real hotel, and an award show honoring classic movie monsters. And my favorite was a whodunit murder mystery that Disney was going to produce, which later turned into a film.
Ooh.
So Walt Disney Imagineering eventually took inspiration from Rod Serling's anthology series featured in The Twilight Zone, a foundation for the attraction's original story. The Imagineering team settled on a 1930s era Hollywood Tower hotel with a Twilight Zone theme, but a new ride system had to be built which would allow both more capacity inside the ride and make the drop fast. Otis Elevator Company created the vertical ride system, and Eaton Kenway a ride vehicle that could drive its own self horizontally and up and down. Disney felt Rod Serling needed to be part of the attraction, although he had already died almost 2 decades earlier. Disney opted to hold auditions to cast his voice, with Carol Serling, Rod's wife, serving as a consultant for the casting. After many auditions, Mark Silverman was chosen by Rod's wife to provide her husband's voice. So that's pretty sweet that they still had that in the attraction, even though he had already passed away.
Yeah.
So the Imagineering behind this attraction is actually really, really cool. So I'll kind of get into that. The ride system employs a specialized technology developed by Walt Disney Imagineering, particularly the ability to move the vehicle in and out of vertical motion shafts. The elevator cabs are self-propelled, automated guided vehicles which lock into separate vehicle motion cabs. The cabs can move onto and into elevators horizontally and throughout the fifth dimension scene and up and down drop shafts. The Florida ride runs on a unique loop system, which two identical ride systems built within the tower itself. After the corridor scene, the four shafts merge into two, and then a cab enters the single drop shaft. After the drop sequence, the elevators unload into the building's basement, then return to one of the shadow shafts to reload the next guests. The Twilight Zone Tower of Terror initially featured a single drop until May 1996, when the ride was upgraded with a second one. A third drop was added 3 years later in 1999, and in January 2003, the attraction's triple drop was replaced with a randomized multi-drop sequence selected by a computer within the ride itself. So this is the new version where they have up to, I think, 25 different ride simulators. So it randomly picks one, and that's how many you do. It can go from one single drop to, I think, like 15, which is insane.
They're all different.
Yeah, so if you don't like falling and that fear of like the free falling simulation, probably not the great ride for you, but yeah.
No. Why do you keep saying I should go on Guardians then?
So Guardians is interesting because it's not like Tower of Terror, but I'll get into that later. It's actually a really different, like, it's the same ride system, but it's a different way it's designed.
I don't like dropping.
I know, but you're missing out, and there's like a really cool reason why, and it's actually like
Such a
part
good
of
ride, though.
the experience. Tower of Terror, I can see why you wouldn't do it, but Guardians, I think like
No.
you should.
No.
It-
No.
Tower of Terror is so good, though.
No.
So I'm gonna just tell you straight up. So in Guardians of the Galaxy, this is like sidetracked, but since you brought me there, Tower of Terror, they have the up and down motion, and that's all they really use. But Guardians of the Galaxy itself, it will drop, but then it'll stop dropping and kind of like sit there and actually like play different show scenes. So you're watching things happen while listening to music.
Did you like the drop
It's
on
pretty
Rise of the
cool.
Resistance?
No.
She's not going on it, dude.
It's about the same.
No.
It's not as bad.
What
Okay.
is he talking about? He's lying to me. He was like, Incredicoaster is not that bad. You'll be, if you liked Rock and Roller Coaster, you'll like this. I didn't like going vertically down.
It's not vertical.
Yes, it was. I was vertical.
No, it's literally like a hill.
No.
Go to Florida. There's some straight down roller coasters.
No.
Go to Busch Gardens.
Yeah,
Go to
literally.
Busch Gardens. Get on
It's
Superman.
He was
Shikra.
like, here's Shikra, and I was like, I'm no. Listen.
The Hulk at Universal freaked me out.
Listen.
The Hulk
You-
isn't bad though.
Do you want to be single?
Do we have the same mic now?
Yeah, I think we do. Did you get it? Are we matching? Yay!
I mean, if we're
Is it-
going down this route, I mean, sure. Oh, you want to play with
Tyler
fire? You're
Gifford,
gonna get
continue.
burned. Okay. In
You wanna
order
play
to
with gluten,
achieve
you're
it,
gonna
the
die.
want to play with nuts? You're gonna die. In order to achieve the weightlessness effect the Imagineers desired, cables attached to the bottom of the elevator that pull it down at a speed slightly faster than what a freefall would provide. Two enormous motors are located at the top of the tower, measuring 12 feet, weighing 132,000 pounds. They're able to accelerate 15 times the speed of a normal elevator and generate 270 times the amount of a Corvette engine, reaching a top speed in 1.5 seconds. The ride slogan, "Never the Same Fear Twice," refers to the drop pattern being randomly selected by a computer, reaching a top speed of 39 miles an hour. The American and European versions of the attraction are pretty much exactly the same. So guests make their way to the Hollywood Tower Hotel through the front gate to enter the queue through overgrown gardens and then enter the hotel lobby. Once in the lobby, guests are ushered to the hotel library, which houses the hotel's collection of books and antiques. With a crash of thunder and lightning, the power in the library goes out, except for a television set that crackles to life and plays the opening sequence of The Twilight Zone.
Hollywood, 1939. Sorry.
You're good. It's fine. The episode depicts the events of a stormy night in Hollywood, 1939, where a lightning bolt strikes the tower and causes 5 people, a celebrity couple, a child star, her nanny, and a hotel bellhop, to vanish from the elevator, along with an entire wing of the building. So it's interesting because, like, in the video, it only shows like 5 people that go missing, but like the way it's created is not only the 5 people go missing, but the entire half side of the hotel also goes missing as well. So there's really about 150 deaths, which is something I didn't know. But yeah, they don't really
No.
talk about that. Yeah, there's over 100 deaths in the Tower of Terror.
I thought it was the elevator shafts that vanished.
Yeah, so yeah, I know, but the way it's connected, yes, the elevator shafts are like what like gets taken away, but the people that are also part of the hotel that are like right next to those, like the elevator shafts in those rooms, like next to them, also die.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So Rod Serling then tells the guests that they'll be stepping into a maintenance service elevator to become the stars of an episode of The Twilight Zone. The television then turns off and guests are directed through the boiler room to board the elevator. After guests are loaded into the elevator, the doors close and the lights dim as the elevator starts to ascend. Rod Serling's voice greets passengers to a most uncommon elevator about to ascend to your very own episode of The Twilight Zone. The elevator stops and the doors open to reveal a dimly lit corridor with a single window at the end of the hallway. The ghosts of the 5 missing passengers appear, beckoning them to join them before disappearing in a burst of electricity. The corridor fades into darkness and transforms into a field of stars. When the window intact, floats to you and then destroys itself and breaks. The elevator doors close and the car continues to ascend, once more opening the doors to a maintenance room. The elevator car exits the lift shaft horizontally into the room, which slowly fades into darkness as you enter the 5th dimension. So that is Florida's version and California. Sadly, we don't have it anymore. I miss it. I do think it's better than Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh, do you
Oh,
not?
by far.
Oh, okay. I was
No,
gonna
by
say
far.
I love the version in Florida.
Can I add something?
Yeah.
This ride has a movie. It's not the best, but you gotta watch it at least once.
Did you hear what they're doing?
Yes, the Scarlett
Dude,
Johansson
I'm so
film.
ready for
Yeah.
the yeah, I'm so excited.
See, but the original with Kirsten Dunst, it's so good.
Oh, I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I loved it. I have it. It's literally in my Xbox right now.
No, I'm fully ready. I'm fully ready for the new one though.
Yeah. So this is Tokyo Disney Sea's version. This is the only opposite version of the Tower of Terror. And I absolutely love this. This actually ties directly into Sea that we were talking about earlier. So this actually takes place on the American waterfront that opened on September 22nd, 2006. Unlike its American counterpart, the attraction, they don't know what the Tower of Terror is. They don't know Twilight Zone because it isn't something that they culturally like agree with
Yeah.
due to like the afterlife and stuff like that. So they aren't allowed to show the Tower of Terror and like the Twilight Zone in their country. So they went with the idea taking place with Hotel Hightower, utilizing the Society of Explorers and Adventurers that already exists within that theme park. So Harrison Hightower was an explorer and part of the society, and he was the worst man in the society and would often do illegal and horrible things to achieve the artifacts that he wanted. And he ended up creating the Hightower Hotel as a place to store his most loved artifacts. So the queue area winds through gardens filled with the statues from many different countries up to Hotel Hightower before guests then enter the lobby. On each ceiling arc is a painted mural of Hightower himself on one of his adventures, portraying his escape from native people with a valuable artifact or item in his possession. At the end of the lobby is the elevator that is already destroyed and left open with a single plank of wood holding them together. Guests are then ushered into the room filled with many photographs of Hightower himself, his expeditions, and his hotel. Guests enter one of Hightower's offices where a large stained glass window depicts a confident Hightower while Shiriki Intunu sits on top of a pedestal nearby the stained glass window. A tour guide talks about Hightower and then winds up an old gramophone that plays a recording of Hightower's last interview. The lights dim and a stained glass window changes to show a frightened Hightower holding the idol and then entering the elevator on that fateful night, showing the outside of the hotel as the elevator ascends. All throughout, Hightower's voice is heard echoing throughout the office, warning guests that the curse is real and urging them to leave. All the lights in the hotel go out, and a flash of green lightning shatters as the bottom of the window explodes. The idol comes to life, laughs evilly at the guests, and vanishes into that starry field that you see as you are inside that the Tower of Terror. Guests are then ushered to the enormous storage room where you see all of his treasures that he had collected throughout his explorations.
I don't know if I'd say the Twilight Zone is the afterlife, but that's fine.
I don't think it is.
Because that's just
But
interesting to me that they were like, oh, we can't have that. It depicts the afterlife. I'm like, I don't think the fifth dimension is the afterlife.
I think the fifth dimension is just a place between life and death. So it's kind of like purgatory, I think.
Okay.
It's not really explained what it is, but it's like
It is what it is.
yeah, it's like kind of like a middle ground between like the stages of passing and living, which is kind of cool.
Okay.
So as the ride begins, a flash of electricity appears on the top of the elevator door. The lights quickly flicker and then go out. Hightower explains what happened to him as your elevator is pushed backwards. The glowing green eyes of the idol appear in the darkness as the elevator shaft enters the drop shaft. The elevator begins its ascent. Oh my god, I cannot read. I'm so sorry.
Ascent.
Accent.
Accent.
That's two for me right now.
As the elevator begins its accent.
The elevator is
Oh, I got a text that said Hollywood Howard Hotel.
Howard Hotel.
Hollywood Howard Hotel.
Yep, that's it. The elevator begins its ascent, then stops to the doors to open and reveal the private apartment of Harrison Hightower. The idol sits on top of a table in the center of the room as Hightower's ghost appears beside it and reaches out to touch you. The idol zaps him with a ball of a green electricity, blasting him backwards past the open elevator door as he falls down the elevator shaft to his death. So you're watching his death happen as you're in the elevator waiting to die.
This sounds more of a horror movie than Tower of Terror.
Yeah, it's not great. The room fades away, replaced by a starry field similar to the American version, and the idol turns toward the guests, laughing at you as literally, so it's flying at you as it's evilly laughing, disappears, and then you shoot up.
Oh god.
Yeah. The elevator ascends again, then the doors open, revealing a large, ornate mirror. Hightower tells the guests to wave and say goodbye to yourself. As you do, the lighting of the hotel is replaced by the eerie green glow, which then takes the reflections of the guests and changes them into a ghost-like form, reflecting them in the mirror. Then the elevator drops as the idol menacingly laughs at the riders and suddenly shoots down, dropping into the Tower of Terror.
We're gonna swindle Armida onto this ride next year.
No.
I'm totally down. At the end of the drop sequence, the elevator returns to the loading area where the idol's green eyes glare at you one last time in the darkness and then disappear.
We're gonna swindle her onto it.
So due to the
looks
death
so
of
scared.
I know it's really, it's like reading it, it's really demented. Like this ride is like really creepy.
Yeah.
So due to the death of his father, George Hightower, he ended up taking the wealth from the hotel and he ended up moving to America, taking over a sprawling mansion in New Orleans, where he married a beautiful woman named Constance Hatchaway, known as the Black Widow bride from the Haunted Mansion, which then killed him, taking her money from his own.
And then we get Phantom Manor.
You get that whole thing. So in the stretching room, the guy with the axe in his head is George Hightower, Harrison Hightower's son from the Society of Explorers and Adventurers.
That's not Phantom Manor, that's Haunted Mansion.
It's Haunted Mansion in California.
Yeah.
Oh.
Phantom
Manor is Melanie Ravenswood with the Phantom and the whole Big Thunder Mountain thing.
Henry Ravenswood gets killed by the earthquake, and then he
Phantom of the Opera. Yep.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, all those like attractions are connected. So there's technically in this universe, I think there's the 3 Haunted Mansions, which is interesting. There's not just the one. So the only other attraction that is kind of adjacent to Tower is Guardians of the Galaxy. So that opened in 2017 when they started the Avengers Campus, and that whole idea is the collector's warehouse, in which he collects the artifacts from all.
Adjacent to Tower of Terror.
Yes.
Not adjacent to Haunted Mansion.
Oh, did I say Haunted Mansion?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, Tower of Terror. Oh my god.
And it's called a fortress, and I know because I worked behind it.
Okay, the Collector's Fortress.
Yes, thank you.
Are you happy?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a hippo.
Shut up. Where he collects the artifacts from across the 9 realms inside of his fortress.
Thank you.
So his newest acquisition is the Guardians of the Galaxy, now on display for you to meet and interact with. So instead of the TV room, you're greeted by Rocket, who has escaped and is now looking for you to help him break out the rest of the Guardians. Your mission is to join Rocket and evade the Guardians' escape. And honestly, the ride is pretty much similar in every single way, except for each of the different drop simulations. It changes the music that they play on Peter Quill's cassette, which is fun. And that has an effect to the video and the shows that play. So there's like 6 or 7 different songs from Cherry Bomb, I Want You Back, Give Up the Funk, Born to Be Wild, Hit Me With Your Best Shot, and Burning Love. Depending on what song you get is the video on the screens that play. And every single time you drop, you get another version of the video. So it like continuously plays. So it's not just like dropping all the time, which is nice. And then for Halloween, they have a nightmare like overlay where it's called Monsters After Dark with a giant demon that breaks out of one of the cages and hunts you down, trying to kill you and Groot. So it has 2 separate overlays, which is fun.
Subtly.
Yeah. No, it like
Subtly.
full on tries to like kill you.
I was being sarcastic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But that is Tower of Terror, and yeah,
And
Guardians
this
of the
is
Galaxy.
a 3-hour episode.
Actually, I don't think it's gonna be
Started
that
at
long.
7. Well, it's been 3 hours of recording. I'll tell you that much. But I
Yep.
don't know how long the actual episode's gonna be.
But yeah, that was a lot. But it was fun, kind of like diving into like all the different rides and like their stories and stuff like that. So
Oh,
thank
I loved
you.
it. I loved doing the research process. It was so
We're
fun.
gonna get Armida on Tower of Terror in Tokyo.
Oh, I'm so down. We need to take a trip even more now to Tokyo Disney Sea.
Yes, specifically to get her on that ride.
You're gonna see the
It's not a
creepy
joke. I
eyes of the
genuinely
idol.
hate that stuff.
You're gonna be in the pitch darkness and just see these 2 green glowing eyes staring at you as it disappears into the darkness.
Stop freaking her out.
Is there anything else you guys want to do 0 to hero? Or do you want to call it?
I think she's scarred right now. Yeah.
Thank you guys so much, as always, for tuning in and listening to the Dream a Fantastic Dream podcast. Before we go, we are doing new live episodes over on the Whisper app. Or the Wisdom app. Sorry, Whisper is a completely different thing. The Wisdom app, and you'll be able to interact with us and talk and stuff like that, and kind of like hop into the episode and give your feedback if you guys are interested. Kind of like live streams only for podcast episodes. So it's going to be really, really cool. It's a new thing that we're going to try. Not really sure when we're going to do our first episode, but hopefully soon. But yeah, with that, just go ahead and leave us a like and a review on the show. Go check out the Redbubble shop. Let us know if you want to hear more of these kinds of episodes with like the backstories and the ride stuff. I really enjoyed it. I know Armida really enjoyed it. Of course, Jared liked it a lot because he talked about his 2 favorite things in the entire world that you never hear him stop talking about.
And you won't.
Yeah,
if
you never
think
will.
This is the end. You're wrong.
But as always, dream a fantastic dream.